And now Curlin. And Kyler hits a little nub shot down to third, and he will stick it in his pocket. Probably the best decision there by the third baseman, Fluno. And so a runner aboard on the infield single with one man out. And now Nick Anderson. Lee grounded out to start the ball game. Curlin with the infield single. And now Anderson. Again, for those of you just tuning in, this is Team Citius USA out of Joseph, Texas, just outside of Austin. Team Texas, basically, taking on the Vipers of Wisconsin out of just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. A loser's bracket ball game here on Field 4 at the historic East Cobb Baseball Complex, the 2014 Travelball National Championship Tournament. At a strike. The winner of this one moves into, well, advances to take on Indiana Bulls Black or the East Cobb Astros. The loser heads home for 2014. Line into right field. That one going to fall in for a base hit for Anderson. Curlin will stop at second. And consecutive hits for Team Citius of Texas. Now Braylon Owens. Just received word we may have had a little bit of technical difficulty getting started today. Some of you may not have received the feed. I assure you we were on the air, and for those of you who maybe did not receive the feed, I do apologize for that. So to reset things, Team Wisconsin versus Team Texas in an elimination game inside the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Out number 3 retired on a pop-up by Owens. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and no, out number 2, pardon me, out number 2. And with 2 outs, Kobe Young. Strike on the outside corner. 2014 Travelball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America. Ground ball over the head of the pitcher. Throw to first. And he's safe. Now 3 singles in the inning, 2 on the infield. And the bases are loaded now with 2 men out. And Carson Babb, the hitter. So Brady Renfro on the plate now, or on the mound, pardon me, for the Vipers. Got himself in a serious first out jam here. Josh Stewart on deck. Ground ball to short. This could put an end to the inning, and does. 3 hits in the inning, and the bases left loaded for Team Texas in the top half of the first. Let's actually keep it here. Let's keep it here and reset things for you. For those of you who may have joined us late, or perhaps you were part of the folks who had the technical difficulties in getting logged in, it's Team Wisconsin and Team Texas in this elimination ball game here in the 2014 Travelball National Championship. Both of these teams inside the loser's bracket, as I mentioned. One team heads home. The other team advances to a 6 p.m. ball game just across the way from where we're at right now at field number 6, a 6 p.m. ball game. So to follow immediately after the conclusion of this one. And this, of course, the third of 4 ball games that we will have here on Travelball Select in the 11U classification. That's where we're at, is inside the 11U classification. Josh Stewart has climbed the mound for the Texas team, and he'll be on the mound facing the Wisconsin Vipers, a Vipers team who won their first ball game of the day when they took out a team out of Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City Hit Dogs. And the Vipers who, let's see, were they 3-1? Yes, they were. They were 3-1 in pool play. Team Citius, USA out of Joseph, again, just outside of Austin, Texas, a team that lost to that same Motor City club that I was just mentioning a moment ago. They also beat Indiana Bulls Black in that ball game. Xavier Perez, one of their pitchers, threw a perfect game en route to the 8-0 win over Bulls Black. They then beat the Ackworth Warriors, Ackworth of Georgia, just a little north of here, up 75, Interstate 75, and then lost to Club All-Star, who was eliminated a little bit earlier here in the losers bracket. So Kyle Yu, Ryan Taylor, and Brady Renfro in the home half of the first inning. This, again, the second time that we've seen Wisconsin today on TravelballSelect.com. And a strike to start Kyle Yu. And thanks for joining us on TravelballSelect.com. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Yu, a ground out, a single, and then a second single in his first game of the day. Drove in a run, had a stolen base. Josh Stewart to the belt, kicks and fires. A fastball that stays high. Kyle also spent some time on the mound for the Wisconsin team in their victory over Michigan. Center field shot that's hit hard, but the fielder there for the F8. Coming up at 6 p.m. here on the old .com. Probably a little after 6, by the way, to be honest with you. The game's getting pushed back a little bit. It'll be Home Plate Chili Dogs, a team out of the state of Georgia, taking on a team whom we saw just a little while ago in our second game of the afternoon. The Knights of La Miranda from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. So, Team California for all intents and purposes. That should be quite a ball game. Chopper foul for Ryan Taylor. Taylor, the Vipers shortstop. Stewart with a fastball that tails outside. Travelball National Championship powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. Line in the left, falling base hit. First hit for Wisconsin in the ball game. Little cue shot off the bat of the left-hander, Ryan Taylor. Travel baseball has become so prevalent over the country over the last few years. By few, of course, I mean about the last decade. Till now, there really been no national championship in some terms for these teams to play for. Various tournaments over the years that have tried, but somehow, some way, some people always felt like the best teams were not always represented. Well, Nations Baseball has been the fastest growing travel ball sanctioning body in the United States over the last 6 years, and now Travel Ball Select and Nations Baseball have come together to form tournaments like what you're seeing on TravelballSelect.com. These tournaments so unique, so talented, so fun to see. Runner going. And a foul off by Renfro. 50% of the teams in these tournaments, and this one as well, have been invited through the TBS rankings. And then Nations Baseball hosts qualifiers to qualify the rest of the teams. And the net result is the Travel Ball National Championship, which you're seeing here. Ground ball to short. Runner was breaking. That'll keep him out of the double play. Throw to first. And Renfro retired. So a runner at second with 2 men gone. Home half of the first. A fly out, a single by Taylor, and a ground out. And that'll get Tanner Smith, the catcher, to the plate. Stewart kicks and fires. A breaking ball that didn't. Good job by Stewart to take command, make the final out of the inning. And with that, we'll take the break with them. Through 1 here in East Cobb. No score on TravelballSelect.com.
Great hitters aren't born, they're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
Back for the second frame here in Metro Atlanta. Thanks for joining us for this elimination ball game inside of the 2014 Travelball National Championship. I'm Chris Mooney. I'm here with a play-by-play story this afternoon. Well, today and tomorrow, as a matter of fact, 8 games in 2 days. And by the end of play tomorrow afternoon, say about 4 o'clock or so, we will have crowned the 2014 National Champion for Travelball Select across the country. I'm joined now by Rob Bruno. Rob?
Well, we're excited to be here. I've been working with the Travelball Select guys, working on a TV project for them and jumping in and out from field to field, working on things. I've seen both these teams, great quality teams. Great team from Wisconsin, Chris. Really enjoy watching these guys.
High pop. Left fielder makes the call and the catch, and Stewart is retired, the old F7.
You know, you expect a team from the Austin, Texas area to be a power. And, of course, they are. But you don't expect a Washington or Wisconsin team to come in here and really be well coached, got some great talent, good ball club. And anytime you've got a lefty on the mound, you've got a chance.
Yeah. Don't always think of Wisconsin as a hotbed for youth baseball, do you? But you are exactly right. They have performed so well over the week, haven't they?
They really have. I've seen them play a couple times. Well-coached club. The coaches coached at the college level, played at a high level. They know what they're doing. They're not in awe. You know, they're playing teams like from California, from Florida, from Texas, from Georgia, all the hotbeds. And they're more than holding their own.
Right. Meanwhile, for Team Citius, Xavier Perez at the plate. Xavier, the young man with one of the highlights of the tournament. Perfect game en route to an 8-0 win over the Bulls Black of Indiana.
Unbelievable. That's saying something.
Yeah.
It's special enough to get a no-hitter, but to get a perfect game and not walk a guy, not have an error at the 11-year-old level, that is incredible, just special.
Now Christian Okerholm, pardon me. Who takes ball one. Team Citius took third place at the 12U AAA Trip State Championship. And won the SS South Texas State Championship. Boy, the numbers on some of these teams. At one point, they were 33-8. They played up as they prepped for a Memorial Day event. You're shaking your head. You probably know about that event. Went 5-3 in a play-up.
Well, that sharpened them up for playing back to their age group. And so if you go 5-3 against 12-year-olds, a full year, 11s and 12s, that's a huge difference.
Right. Christian pops it up on the infield, called it first, and the catch is made. Gavin Vrana. Fly out, walk, and a pop-up. Visitors half of the second, so 2 men gone with 1 man on. And back to the leadoff man and Braden Lee, who promptly strokes one into left field for a base hit.
The Citius team is a very aggressive fastball hitting early team. They really attack. And so they might want to start thinking about pitching backwards to those 1, 3, 4, 5 guys a little bit. You know, throw some off-speed stuff and some fastball counts and vice versa.
Of course, we found out earlier and mentioned that Brady Renfro, lefty on the mound for the Vipers with limited experience this season on the mound, and that ball squirts up the middle for a base hit. Coming to the plate and scoring is Perez. The throw down to third will not be made, and Team Citius draws first blood in this elimination ball game here at East Cobb.
Just a nice shot through, took a tough hop through, and it looked like it maybe was going to be a double play. Just missed. It's a game of inches.
Kyler Curlin with the RBI single. And that'll get us to Nick Anderson.
Curlin is a tough kid. I've watched him. Not a big kid. You don't have to be big in baseball. One of the best kids I've ever coached was Dustin Pedroia, and I think he was 5'7" in cleats on cement. All he could do was play.
Well, you say he's not a big kid. In fact, he's one of the smaller kids out here.
That's right. That's the great thing about baseball.
Right. Shot down the left field line and a fair ball into the corner. 1 run has scored. Second runner headed into third, and he'll be waved to the plate. Curlin going to score easily. It's a 2 RBI triple for Team Texas.
Chris, it just goes back to the point. They're coming out fastball, first pitch swinging, and I think they're going to have to make an adjustment on the mound and start pitching backwards, throwing some changeups from that lefty. They're going to sit on that fastball and attack, and they're going to make a switch right now, the coach is.
Yeah, Renfro going to come out of this ball game. I talked to Coach Taylor after their first ball game of the day, and he said, well, we may throw everybody out there, basically, and I'm paraphrasing for him, but he's going to have to mix the bag up. There's no doubt about it, and you're right. They've now made the change, and who are they calling on? Ryan McCorkle. Number 4, they're going to bring out Ryan McCorkle. So I wonder if Ryan will move off of out of right field. And
I think they actually had Ryan come from maybe an EH spot. He might have started out there, but it looked like he came from the dugout. And that's the great thing about the extra hitter, that they're able to get those guys loose. You know, they're able to get more than those 8 pitches, so they come in hot. I think it's a great rule. You get another at bat. And the more hitters, the better. That's how you're going to develop. You've got to play, and I think that's a great rule. At this point, it's a kind of a game of attrition. These guys have played so many games, and they've just got to find a guy who's hot on the mound, throwing strikes, and keep the ball down here. These kids are going to come out swinging. I believe it's the catcher coming up now, isn't it?
Owens.
Yep. He's had a very nice tournament.
Yeah.
Strong kid. Throws well behind the dish. And he looks like a cleanup hitter. He's got the big legs.
Sure does.
Nice setup.
Looks like a catcher.
Right on top of the plate, and he'll be aggressive.
And he drives one to left and deep. Hooking towards the pole and caught on the track.
Outstanding catch. Right to the fence.
And that'll put an end to the inning. But a walk and 3 hits, including the 2 RBI triple by Nick Anderson, plates 3 in the inning. And through 1.5 here at East Cobb, it's 3-0. Texas out in front on TravelballSelect.com.
Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Play Big Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, where I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret, this is what I learned studying Hank Aaron, Rod Crew, Stan Musial, Carly Yastrzemski, interviewing them. This is the #1 secret. Go to travelballsecrets.com and do the exercise that's there and feel yourself take that boost to the next level. It's your first step. Go to travelballsecrets.com.
Home half of the second inning, now 3-0. Visitors out in front. It's Texas versus Wisconsin in this elimination ball game for the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship. Take this opportunity for all of you joining us on TravelballSelect.com. Remember, right here on the site, you can see the latest news, national rankings, and players to watch in travel baseball nationwide. You can go to Nations Baseball as well, nationsbaseball.com, to enter a travel ball event in your area. Gavin Vrana to lead off the home half of the second. It'll be Vrana, Fluno, and Dietz.
Kind of interesting. You see a breaking ball after a fastball strike, and I think in youth baseball, it seems like 75% of the time or above, you'll see an off-speed pitch after the fastball strike if it's one of the first 2 pitches.
Sure.
It's like book.
Gavin 2 for 3 in game 1 today. A couple of singles. 3-1 count on him. He's trying to reach for the 3rd time this afternoon. Again, they beat Michigan, Motor City Hit Dogs to be precise, out of Detroit. Left field. Could be a tough play and a great reaching grab by the left fielder.
That's an absolute snow cone out there. What a great catch.
Still on his knees in amazement that he was able to make the play. What a great individual athletic effort by that young man. And yet it only looks like a boring little F7 in my scorecard. I'll put a little star next to that one. How about that? That way I'll remember it later. And now Carson Fluno. Carson takes a breaking ball in the dirt, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Carson showed his keen eye in game 1 this afternoon by taking a walk in the first inning and driving in a run via that base on ball. Finished 1 for 2 officially with a strikeout and a single and the RBI. Now Stewart evens the count at 1. Ground ball to short. This is Curlin. Little guy's got a rocket arm.
I'll tell you, he really works through the ball well. He kind of reminds me of a young Dustin Pedroia. And he sure does have a good arm. He really uses his legs properly and works through it nicely.
Now, this will be an obscure reference for many people out there, but I grew up in this area. Used to be a guy who played around here who actually played East Cobb baseball named Chad Prosser. Chad Prosser, who played at Osborne High School when I was there in the early 90s. Played his college baseball for North Carolina.
I remember Chad Prosser.
Remember Chad Prosser?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I called Chad Prosser's high school games. I've been on the mic just that long. He was drafted in, I think, about the 30th round of the Major League draft. But, yeah, Chad, a slightly built young man.
Umpire got it pretty good there. Got to kind of walk off, and catcher's going to go talk to the pitcher and give the umpire a little bit of time. You could still have that chest protector, Chris, and it's going to hurt anyway. It can catch you in a bad spot there.
Well, I can tell you exactly what kind of chest protector he's wearing by the sound of the impact. He's wearing the one that's raised off of his chest a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, because you're a baseball expert like me. As soon as that ball came in, was fouled off and hit him, you could hear the compression of the protector come in and catch him in the chest.
Yep.
There's a big debate, or used to be anyway, as to whether or not you wear the one that's skin tight or the one that raises off. Got another piece of it.
Yeah, sure did.
Dietz with a tough at-bat. Cale Dietz.
That's a baseball name right there.
Indeed. Cale 2 for 3 in game 1 today. Couple of singles, drove in a run. Struck out swinging. Bids for his third hit, but instead the second baseman will retire him quite easily. Probably one of the few 1-2-3 innings we'll see today. It has been one of the few that we'll have seen through 3 games so far, at the end of 3. Here at East Cobb, or 2.5 I should say, here at East Cobb. One way or another, it's 3-0.
This is Nations Baseball.
Matty Ice to the plate, driven, high, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
All right, it's been verified. It's the top half of the 3rd inning here at the East Cobb Baseball Complex. They changed the scoreboard so quickly on me there. Young man was really on top of his job there.
Quick on the trigger.
Yeah, indeed. Just doing his job, and he got me.
Premature scoreboard right there, Chris.
Yeah, well,
yes.
It happens to everybody, I hear.
Yes.
Top half of the 3rd. Bottom half of the order for the men from Texas. Middle of the order, actually, Kobe Young, Carson Babb, and John Stewart.
Taken all the way there. Not a big fan of that fake bunt, personally, for a take. I think it just gives you a target to throw to.
Sure. And he lost him on 4 straight to start the inning. Ryan McCorkle, who came in just last inning in the middle of all the struggles by Brady Renfro. And so a leadoff walk in the top half of the 3rd. Young reaches for the second time. And he's breaking to second. And he will reach. Oh, boy. Now, we had a loose ball out on the field. Apparently, it was fouled off from one of the other fields. How will the umpires decide?
The umpire came up and gave a timeout sign. I think he's going to have to stick with that. He's going to have to. It would not. Let's see.
And you know, I don't disagree with you. My only thing is that before the ball was in before the errant ball was in
was
play,
recorded.
he had hit the ball. Yeah,
right.
So
he had hit the ball. It was a
Correct.
simultaneous deal. So I think they're gonna have a talk.
A foul ball came over onto this field from one of our neighboring fields where the 9U kids are playing.
It looks to me like they've recorded the out.
Yep. And they're going to leave.
That's a tough one. You know, he called timeout immediately after, but I think the out was pretty much almost recorded, and I think he stayed with it. Maybe, I don't know the rule there. As long as it doesn't interfere with the play, not sure, Chris.
2 ground outs now for Babb. That's what we know for sure. And here's Stewart.
This doesn't happen when the Braves are playing.
They don't have 4 fields within, about 50 feet of each other.
The A's and the Mets are on the other side. They hit a foul ball into the game here.
Well, if it's in New York, you don't know what's going to come flying on the field. I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah.
That's right. Flying saucers, you don't know.
Young with a good lead at second. They'll check him. McCorkles fires back there, and Kobe's back. So Young walked. Babb grounded out in one of the more weird ground outs you'll ever see. And now here's Stewart. Josh 0 for 1 with a fly out. And a breaking ball inside corner. Curve falls in for a strike.
I think they might be starting to throw that breaking ball a little bit earlier in the count now, which I think is a pretty good move.
Yep.
Based on first pitch fastball is being attacked.
2-1 now. Top half of the third. And the visitors lead 3-0. Winner to face either Bulls Black out of Indiana or the Astros of East Cobb. Popped up and called at third. The catch made for out number 2.
Indiana Bulls, a storied program at all levels, and of course East Cobb, what I consider the top program in the country.
Yeah, that is. It may sound funny for some people to say, but it's kind of an historic matchup. You say that, and some people say, "Wait a minute, historic travel ball matchup?" But
absolutely,
really,
they've been around for years and years and years, and they've proven to be 2 of the top 10 programs in the country for years and years.
Backhanded at third, and a great play by Fluno to showcase not just his arm, but his backhanded gloving ability. And the inning comes to a close. A walk to lead off the inning does not come back to haunt the Vipers, and so often it does. But we get through 2.5 innings. Now from East Cobb, 3-0. Team Texas out in front.
Great hitters aren't born. They're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
Home team trails, bottom half of the third, 3-0 our score. Wisconsin trails Texas. And a strike to start. Stewart fires a fastball in the outside corner to Joey Berezovic. Joey, one of the extra hitters in this ball game.
There's that breaking ball that was followed up from the fastball. Kind of a pattern. You know, you look at the kid on the mound, and he looks like a pitcher. He's got some big shoulders. He's got some big legs. Just looks like a pitcher.
rest of it, an RBI walk in the first in game one. Then a walk in the third inning to continue a lengthy inning in game, or in the third inning of game one, and then struck out in the fifth. Well, he's officially 0 for 1 in game one, but reached twice and drove in a run.
667 on base percentage. I like that. He could be 0 for 1 with a 667 all day long.
2-2, tails outside. Count run full now.
Handles the bat pretty well. I saw him in pool play. Can bunt, can do some different things. He already has an advantage. He's a left-handed hitter.
Righty kicks and fires. Fastball that tails away. Kid has got a very good eye. Seems like he has a good idea of his ability and what he wants to do at the plate.
Now I will venture to say you might look for a drag here. These guys, it's still early. They still need to get on the board here. Maybe playing for one and then add. Wouldn't surprise me if they bunt.
I think that's a good call. Swing and a miss at a fastball outside corner. First baseman holding the runner. Good speed at first.
Yep.
Second baseman playing back.
Sure.
I like that call by you.
Apparently their coach didn't, though.
Well,
Let's
the
see what
0-1.
happens here. Oh, he's swinging. He's swinging.
0-2. Now Stewart in control of the at-bat. Josh been good so far. Allowing just the one base runner on the solid single by Taylor with one man out in the first.
Mm-hmm.
It's early, but so far the best pitching that we've seen today. Ground ball, right back to him. He backhands it. Goes to second. 4-1. On to first. Not in time.
Really nice feed to the shortstop, though.
Fielder's choice, and he's retired 1-6, is Marcus Johnson.
Johnson got down the line pretty good, too.
All right, I shouldn't say that Johnson's retired, but
Oh,
he hits into the fielder's
That's
choice.
right.
I think everyone out there knew what I meant.
Absolutely.
If you're watching Travelball, Ryan McCorkle, the batter now. Oh, boy. Beautiful. Strike one.
That's one that I think he'd like to take back and swing at. That's a pretty good pitch to hit. I don't think they're taking a strike at this point. The big right-hander has been throwing a lot of strikes. So I can see them in an attack mode, although they're in the 9-hole, aren't they? So
Indeed. Or 2, 4.
they're in the 10-hole.
6,
It looks
8,
like they're
10.
hitting
yeah,
all
they're
11.
hitting all 11. That's right.
I love it. I love it. Not a lot of parent complaints when every single guy is hitting.
Right. Now, of course, that's an entire roster lineup. If you're thinking 11, what's that all about? And if you're new, for the uninitiated out there, there's a rule here in this travel ball tournament. 9, 10, or the entire roster. That's what you can bat. 9, 10, or the entire roster. That way you can have your traditional 9, or perhaps you can have a DH with 10, or again, the entire roster. But nothing,
Typical.
You can have 14.
That's right, yeah.
Or 13, but you can't have 12, basically.
Tough to roll over the lineup with 14. One of the things that I've noticed that with 12s and 11s and 10s, they don't need as many players. Maybe 12 is a good number. Everybody pitches. And so they don't have a pitcher only, so to speak. When they get to the high school level, you might get 4 or 5 or 6 guys there, and you're going to have 16 to 20 guys, and it's just a different ball game. But here, everybody throws. Some better than others. Pitcher did a really nice job of elevating that fastball, and would not surprise me if he came back with a breaking ball now. Now that he's elevated, little breaking ball in the dirt maybe here, Chris?
Well, I'd be anxious to see it because I was just thinking I'd like to get your expert eye on his motion out of the stretch. Doesn't seem as comfortable out of the stretch.
There's a breaking ball. And he got
a little bit of break out of it, yeah. And it turns into a base hit into center field.
It looks to me like he rushes a little bit and he's uncomfortable. You always hear that, hey, get him into the stretch and see what happens. And I think sometimes you spend too much time on the runner instead of making the hitter a priority. You rush a little bit. You lose a little bit on your fastball. It's usually up a little bit. And we try and teach a little bit more of a lift and don't give in to the hitter.
So 2 men on for Cam McCorkle now. And a breaking ball that drops in for a strike. This is a big moment in the ball game, even if early.
And it looks like they might be taking a strike. That was a pretty good pitch to hit. Not a bad breaking ball, but it was up a little bit.
And he's squaring the bunt. And it's beautiful. Stewart fields, and he'll have nothing to do with it. The bases are loaded for the top man coming up, and it's the powerful Kyle Hughes striding to the plate.
Chris, you can't get any better than that. Just perfectly placed. We always tell our kids, put the ball down the line or foul. It's exactly what he did. That was a special play. I love what the coaches do in this club. They make them play catch. They play small ball. It's fantastic, especially at this level. This is a big leadoff hitter.
Yes, and you has some power. So if you're Stewart, brother, you got to be careful because this guy could turn it from a 3-run lead to a 1-run deficit in a hurry. And Stewart gets ahead of him 1-0. That's important.
Good breaking ball to start. Again, he's pitching backwards. Meaning he's throwing breaking balls and fastball counts and fastballs and breaking ball counts.
Right-hander kicks and fires, and he hits a ground ball, cue shot down to first. Fielding going down to second for 1. On to first for the double play, not in time. So a run comes across and breaks the donut for the Vipers. Gets them to 3-1, but now 2 men out and runners at the corners.
At this point, Chris, I think it's imperative that they get a run here. They've got a good 2-hitter. They've got to put something in action with a first-third situation. Whether it's a delay is something. I like to run a delay, and if they throw through, that runner stops. And let's get that runner from third to home. They've got to score a run here one way or another. It's really important that they cut this deficit to 1. 1's a lot better than 2.
Third baseman slowly walking in. They are sending you down to second. And they did not even attempt to put the swipe on him.
Yeah, they're looking to cut that runner off at home. Needs to make sure that he peeks inside to see if they throw through, because if they do throw through, he's got to stop and try and get that runner home.
Got a piece.
Coaches put him into good position here, though. You've got that tying run at second. Looks like you runs well.
Yep.
Being the leadoff hitter.
I got to tell you, with Taylor at the plate, kid who handles the bat as well as he does, I'd love to see a bunt down the third base line.
He's playing behind the bag.
He's backed up. Yep. Swing and a miss at a fastball just off the outside corner. Count at 1-2 now with 2 men out. Bottom half of the third, the Vipers have struck for 1, but Wisconsin trying to add more. It's McCorkle at third and you at second. And the 1-2. A breaking ball that didn't.
Big pitch here.
They certainly don't think he can pull Stewart, do they?
No.
Lot of room down the line and in right center. Ooh. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Boy, oh boy, he must have just nipped the corner.
Little backdoor breaking ball.
Wisconsin does put a run into the scoreboard and drops the deficit to 2. 3-1, the visitors out in front from Texas. At the end of 3 on TravelballSelect.com.
This is one of the most important moments of this whole game right here. Maybe not for you this time between innings, but it is for the players. The choices they make with what they focus on, what they think, how they move, how they breathe will profoundly affect how they play in this next inning, which could decide this whole game. Most players ride the results roller coaster, meaning when they get a good result, oh, I'm the man. Get a bad result, oh, I'm horrible. Great players don't do that. Players who play big choose their thoughts, how they move, how they breathe, deliberately, because they know what it takes to get them to play their best. If you want to take your game to the next level, you're a player, coach, or a parent, go to travelballsecrets.com right now, where I've got a free exercise that will help take your confidence from here to here and begin your training process to give you a great mental game, which is essential to get you to be the player that you want to be. So visit now, travelballsecrets.com.
Fields throws, and he got him.
Nice play throwing on the run there. One pitch, one out. Pitchers love that. Starting to heat up a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, sun comes back out.
They didn't tell us about this.
And that's always also important to get Oker home on the first play. If you're Wisconsin, you want to get back to the plate.
How about 2 pitches, 2 outs?
Big time. That is big time.
Now here's my question.
Lee retired.
Here's my question. This is a very aggressive swinging team. Is this kid going to swing the first pitch, or is he going to take?
I think he'll swing, actually.
You know what? They probably will. Should they? I
No.
don't think so.
No.
You don't want 3 pitches, 3 outs. I bet he takes.
Well, he is a smart kid,
No,
isn't he?
he's taken.
Oh.
He's taken. I'll tell you what, I love this kid. He's a ball player. He's like your dude Prosser.
Yeah. Inside corner.
Yeah, when the sun comes out from those clouds, it heats up in a hurry here.
The state of Georgia. Ground ball down to third, and the inning does quickly come to a close. So Wisconsin gets what they wanted, a 1-2-3 inning. We'll see if it pays off when we come back to the bottom half of the fourth on TravelballSelect.com.
Great hitters aren't born, they're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
Three, 4, and 5 hitter for Wisconsin here in the home half of the fourth inning. And the home team trails 3-1. Thanks for joining us here on TravelballSelect.com for the 2014 Travelball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelballSelect.com. This is the most competitive youth baseball in America.
Breaking ball over for that strike. Wisconsin versus Texas.
Yep.
This has been great for the Wisconsin kids to come down here and play, and they've more than held their own.
Alongside Rob Bruno, the voice you heard just a moment ago, I'm Chris Mooneyham. Not just great for Wisconsin, great for us.
Absolutely.
To be here to get to see it.
So that last half inning, 5-pitch, 3-out inning, shutdown inning after scoring a run. Now, they would really like to play maybe 1 or 2 more here. They've got their 3, 4, 5 guys up.
Speaking of Wisconsin.
That's correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
Got a run in the bottom of the third.
Nice
Quickly
swing.
got through the top half of the fourth. And so often that's the recipe for championship teams, to come back the bottom half of that very next inning, add a run or two, or perhaps even take the lead. And, boy, the confidence boost you can get off of something like that can last you not just throughout that ball game, but moving forward.
The big fella here's got a nice setup. He's got some pop. You can just see it. Again, the Team Citius pitcher. A lot of breaking balls, but he's got a good fastball, too. There's another one.
Now, Tanner started off our day in Game 1 this afternoon with the ouchie moment of the day. He was caught with a fastball right on his left ankle. He was down in the dirt for a minute. Eventually came back. The unfortunate part for that young man is he hasn't reached base since.
He's the 4 hitter for a reason, though.
Right.
We're going to see some good swings out of him.
He falls to 0 for 2 in this ball game, and that'll get us to Gavin Vrana. Gavin absolutely smoked one into left in his only plate appearance of the ball game so far, and that was when the left fielder made an amazing play for the Texas team. To second this time. And just as important for Team Citius, 1-2-3, Rob.
Very quick inning. Very quick inning. Well-played game so far.
Top half of the fifth coming up. 3-1, visitors out in front on TravelballSelect.com.
This is Nations Baseball.
Matty Ice to the plate, driven, high, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
I want to remind you folks the dates for all qualifying events for the 2015 Travelball Championships will be posted August 22nd on Travelball.com. There are multiple ways to qualify for the Travelball National Championship. Team can qualify by being ranked by Travelball Select and receive one of 12 automatic invitations, or a team can earn a berth by winning one of the 12 Travelball qualifying events. We'll give you a list of the cities that those events will take place in as we move through this inning. Little cue shot. Tried to hold a swing, could not. Better hurry. Lots of speed out of the leadoff batter, but Nick Anderson is, in fact, retired. First time Nick has been retired in the ballgame. Now falls to 2 for 3 with a single, a 2 RBI triple, and that ground out. And now Braylon Owens.
The big cleanup hitter.
Miami, Louisville, Atlanta. Miami, Louisville, Atlanta. 3 of the cities qualifying in 2015. Houston, Charlotte, and Detroit. 3 more. Birmingham, Chicago, and Las Vegas. And then 3 new locations will be announced on the 22nd. When, on the 22nd, they announce the dates for not just the locations, as I mentioned, that I just mentioned the locations, but also the 3 new locations. All dates will be announced on the 22nd at Travelball.com. Email info at TravelballSelect.com to register for an advance notice.
Chris, do you think the Las Vegas place is a destination spot, maybe? Is there anything to do there?
Right. I was in Vegas about 5 years ago this time, and it was amazing weather. Amazing as in it was amazing that it didn't feel hotter than it actually was. It was 110 at night.
But it's dry heat.
Yeah, and it really does make a difference.
It does. I spent a lot of time in Phoenix.
Yep.
In Las Vegas, a couple times a year there, usually for business things, actually. And it does really get down in temperature-wise, though, as far as nighttime. It'll drop 20, 25 degrees, and it does feel different. 110 feels like 95, and it's not a 90-90 situation like out here.
Right.
I just came from Phoenix, where I was at the USA Baseball National Championships, and it was pretty hot here, but it's very hot here. It's the humidity makes a huge difference.
Kobe Young takes ball 1. Kobe, an infield single in the first, and a walk to lead off the third. So 1 for 1 officially, but reached twice. Whoa, and he takes one behind his back that goes back to the screen. Breaking down to second after a bit of a delay was Anderson.
I really don't
Owens,
know how that didn't hit him.
Indeed. I believe Owens was courtesy ran for, by the way. I'll get that number here in just a moment. Strike.
Taken all the way.
McCorkle's really settled in nicely since the second, hasn't he?
Sure has.
Pop foul back and out of play.
You know, the key to any level of baseball is throwing strikes and playing catch. If you can do both those things, you have a chance. And changing speeds.
In the dirt. Another ball that's going to go back to the screen, and yet again, a courtesy runner heads down, advances, I should say. This time, heading down to third.
And I believe, Chris, we've got, a 3-2 count. It's a big situation. The infielders are back, which I'm a little bit surprised. With one out, I figured they'd be up.
Yeah.
Ground ball middle, scoring a run here. And there's your ground ball through.
Yep. And now 4-1.
That's a big deal.
Rob, that's exactly what I was about to say. I know you probably feel the same as I do. That's a very important run.
Sure is.
Evan Joseph was the courtesy runner who comes in to score. And the RBI single for Kobe Young.
You know, with our clubs, we always try and get to that 5 spot.
Sure.
Where, I mean, there's no such thing as a 5-run home run yet. I don't think they're ever going to come up with a 5-run home run, and that's a league you feel pretty comfortable with. There's a runner. Good throw.
But he still steals it.
Yeah, he stole that off the pitcher. There's no question. The catcher made a really nice throw.
Now puts a runner in scoring position for Babb. Carson, 2 ground outs today.
Second base is cheating over. Pretty good hold the right side.
Strike outside corner.
So maybe they're working outside, and they're doing a good job with that. Quick timeout. Baseball got on the field.
Just keep it.
That's right. We never know when we're going to be able to use that thing.
Yeah.
You know, what a difference. I was out here, gosh, I believe in March for one of the regionals and covering some of the games. And at that point, it was freezing out here. There he goes.
And they've got him hung up. Oh, he dropped it. And there will not be time to get him at second. Holy smokes, Kobe Young living dangerously.
But I remember the first night there, this field was just full of mud. If you were a mudder, you were all right. What a difference today. Beautiful weather.
Fastball sweeps outside. Count even at 2.
You got your share of some crazy weather this late winter. Yeah, those 2 storms that I don't think Atlanta was prepared for.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal.
I'll be honest, we don't get those in California.
That was a little bit of a misconception around the country. You know what the real problem was is that everybody just left at the same time.
Right.
Everybody got out of school. Everybody left work.
Right.
Everybody was out on the road at the same exact time, and that was the real problem. 3-2.
I think I'd rather have one of those storms than an earthquake like we get, though.
Yeah. Indeed.
We have our share of natural disasters. We seem to have lots of earthquakes, lots of fires, but no tornadoes. No tornadoes there. Not too much snow instead of, well, maybe in the mountains, Tahoe.
Babb shoots one down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It's out of play.
Yeah, I actually love the Atlanta weather. It's fantastic.
I was actually talking to Rick Goff earlier about Rick Goff, who joined us from Travelball Select. I was telling him I was out in Tahoe last summer, fall, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, what a place.
Well, I think it's actually prettier in the summer and fall than it is in the winter with all that snow.
Stays high. Snap, throw down. Oh, boy, they had a chance.
Lake Tahoe might be one of the prettiest places in the world, Chris.
I completely concur. Josh Stewart to the plate now. Josh, a fly out to the left fielder, a pop up to the third baseman, so 0 for 2. And if he can record his first safety of the day, he'll push his team's lead to 5 most likely. Or 4, pardon me. Their total to 5.
And if he hits a gapper, he might as well get to that 5 spot.
Yep, and every run now is absolutely paramount for both of these teams. At 4-1 in the 5th inning, remember, for those of you just tuning in, we play 6.
Yeah, this is just adding on now.
Ground ball. Third base line off the glove of the third baseman. And they're going to hold the runner at third to load the bases with just one man out.
Talking to the Corey Lytle coach earlier, Coach Sarver, and we were talking about, he says, tomorrow is the day we kind of get in that loser's bracket, but now we start sending guys home. I mean, people are sending guys home now. This is it. You win, you play. Next, you lose, you're done. You're going home.
It's one of the really interesting dynamics of these tournaments, of the parks. The shrinking of the crowds that happens, you know what I mean, as teams get eliminated.
Absolutely.
It becomes so much more intimate. Such a big thing with all the crowds, all the teams, all the families, about middle of the afternoon on a day like this. But once you get to about noon on a day like this, crowd starts to thin out.
It's attrition.
Becomes more intimate. Strike.
Very big at bat here, Chris. This is going to be a big deal here. If they're hoping to get some kind of comeback or maybe in double play, but if they can break this open right now.
And it's Xavier Perez at the plate. Perez, who had one of the biggest moments of this tournament so far. He of the perfect game. Was it Thursday or Friday? I forget. I got to be honest. Let's see.
I believe it was Friday.
Or Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was Wednesday because he did it against Indiana Bulls Black.
Okay.
Yeah, in pool play.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah.
Liner at third and caught. Can they get the double play? Yes, indeed. Just what the Vipers from Wisconsin needed to try and stay in this elimination bracket ball game. We'll stay at 4-1 to the bottom half of the 5th inning we go on TravelballSelect.com. Ball 1 to start the inning. Stewart from Team Citius of Joseph, Texas, just outside of Austin, trying to get 6 little outs to send the Texas team over Wisconsin here in this elimination bracket ball game.
I hear they play a little football and baseball at the college level in that Austin area, the University of
Austin,
Texas.
never heard of it, no.
It's more known for their music, right? 6th Street, I believe?
Right. Well, they do a little bit of everything out there in Austin, don't they?
That's quite a town.
It's Fluno, Dietz, and Zavitz, pardon me.
Great pitch.
And he got him.
I'll tell you what, the catcher's touching the ground saying, hey, bury it. I'm going to get that thing. A heck of a pitch. They're executing. And that's the great thing about this. We're seeing some of the best 11-year-olds in the country. And they are executing pitches. The fundamentals are outstanding.
Right.
They're just smaller. That's all. That's the difference.
Ground ball. Deep third and down the left field line. Past the outstretched arms of Perez.
Not a very good turn at first base. I think he could have probably taken second if he was thinking double out of the box, but he was kind of running straight down the line. We would call it a hard 90. Here you call it a hard 70.
Yeah, I had actually looked away from the base runner and assumed he was going to head down to second. When I looked up at the second base bag and didn't see him,
he hesitated. And
I was a little thrown off.
Yeah, he didn't start his turn. And he honestly needed a little bit of help by the first base coach, a little bit more. Good pitch.
Outside corner with a strike, a fastball. It's a little Joey who walked in his first plate appearance back in the third. Josh Stewart to the belt.
Stewart's throwing a nice game.
Well, he really has.
Mixing it up, throwing strikes.
We saw it early, didn't we?
Absolutely.
You could feel it.
Yep. He said it's been the best pitch game by anybody you've seen today.
Indeed. Cue shot down to third and foul.
The only thing I'd like to see him do is maybe a little bit of lift, a little bit of kick in that stretch position. I agree with you. I think he's a little bit different pitcher when you get him in the stretch.
A little stiff.
A little bit. I think he's too preoccupied with the runner and hurrying instead of, again, putting priority on the hitter.
Kicks and fires. Breaking ball that he left a little high.
Have you noticed his breaking ball has been higher?
It's been a little flatter.
Out of the stretch.
Right. Absolutely. We said that earlier.
Yep.
Not getting the shoulder around, is he?
Well, he's
ground
just
ball.
Not able to load.
Shortstop. You know they may not have a play. Curlin
look at that
with
play.
an amazing throw. Curlin, wow, what a play by the shortstop.
He reminds me a lot of the kid also that the 5'4" kid that played for Louisville in the College World Series about 3 years ago, too. That was a heck of a player. I'll be the only guy that'll remember this guy. Freddie Patek was 5'4" with the Kansas City Royals in the big leagues.
He has been a defensive star today.
Yeah,
one of the better defensive players that I think we've seen on this field today as well.
Yeah, a couple web gems today.
Strike outside corner with a curveball.
A little bit up. Probably a good take. You know, this part of the lineup, I'm surprised he's throwing breaking balls to these guys. With a 3-run lead, I'd be attacking right there.
There it is. Yep.
You know, one of the rules is you don't throw a slow ball to a slow bat to speed it up.
Right.
And with a 3-run lead, you really want to attack. Now he's 0-2. He's in the driver's seat.
Stewart in charge of the at-bat with Marcus Johnson at the plate, one of the extra hitters who hit into a fielder's choice.
And Marcus can run a little bit. He got down the line real well. They really didn't come close on that double play.
More of a fielder's choice because he beat the play out at first.
That's right. That was the comebacker to the pitcher earlier.
Right.
Yes.
Stewart kicks and fires.
That's a breaking ball set out.
Yep.
Just stayed out, trying to go that backdoor route. And again, I'd love to see him attack in. Lost art.
Well, attack on 1-2.
Yeah. Now he's sliding in. Let's see. I bet you comes fastball in. Yeah, he sure is. He's still missed out. Catcher set up in though.
Yeah, I don't think he hit a spot.
Well, he's had very good command all day today, so that's one of the few misses that he's really had, which is really incredible.
I want to remind you folks at the conclusion of this ball game, about 15 or 20 minutes after we sign off here on TravelballSelect.com, our fourth and final game of the afternoon on the site. Swing and a miss by Johnson, and the inning comes to a close.
He's in control.
Wisconsin will be down to their final 3 outs here in just a few minutes, but Team Citius will have one more opportunity to add to their 3-run lead, 4-1 at the end of 5.5 on TravelballSelect.com.
Here's a game I invite you to play during the next half inning. Rate each player from 0 to 10 how confident he looks. How confident you think each guy is. Rate him 0 to 10, and then notice what you're basing your assessment on. If you want extra credit, do the same for yourself. How are you sitting right now? How are you moving? How are you breathing? How confident 0 to 10 are you right now in whatever it is that you might be working on in your life? I'm Dr. Tom Hansen, founder of the Play Big Academy, and for the last 30 years, I've been studying confidence in baseball and business, all aspects of life, and what makes people take action boldly and confidently, and what has people wilt away under the pressure. If you want to take the first step, where I give away my #1 secret, the Hall of Famer's secret, this is what I learned studying Hank Aaron, Rod Cruz, Stan Musial, Carly Yastrzemski, interviewing them. This is the #1 secret. Go to travelballsecrets.com. and do the exercise that's there and feel yourself take that boost to the next level. It's your first step. Go to travelballsecrets.com.
I'll tell you the funniest story in the world.
Visitors half of the 6th. Texas trying to add to their lead. Thanks for joining us here on TravelballSelect.com. It's the 2014 Travel Ball National Championship. And a hit batter to start the inning.
I kind of like that. He kind of wore that. He didn't really move. He was okay with getting hit there, wasn't he?
It'll be the first time that Okerholm has reached today. Pop up, a ground out, now the HBP.
Coach is making a change.
Yep. A good job by McCorkle. Ryan had himself a good day, all things considered. He really did.
Did a nice job. Who's the new one here, Chris?
Ryan Taylor. Taylor going to come in from his
He came in from the bench.
Shortstop position.
Yeah, I think that what they did was they moved him an inning before.
Right.
And got him ready to go.
Right.
He was the extra hitter, and he got loose in the bullpen. And that's why I like that rule. They don't come in, well, they're not cold, but their arm's cold.
Right.
You know, from the field, and it's a good rule, I think. You know, got to make sure you take advantage of it in the right way. But I like that extra hitter in the lineup. Gives another bat in there. It's a good deal. So with no outs, you know, they're up 4. I think they're up 4-1. I think they'd like to add on. You know, I'm thinking that, you know, probably a bunt situation here. Although these guys are very aggressive.
Again, want to take this opportunity to remind you folks we've got one more game coming up here on the website. I'll say 15, maybe 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. We'll have home plate out of Peachtree City, Georgia, just south of the city. Still in the metro, but that's not saying much because Metro Atlanta's
pretty big.
20 counties. And they'll take on the Knights of La Miranda from Northern California. So it'll be San Francisco versus Atlanta. I like the sound of that. But I'm an Atlanta guy, so there you go. Georgia versus California. Let's do it that way.
I used to love when they were in the National League West and they played.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You're a Giants guy, right?
Well, I'm actually an Oakland A's fan.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. While they were building a nice park, we were winning World Series. So, although lately the Giants have been hot.
Yeah, I was going to say. Now they've turned around and won 2 in the last, 4 or 5 years.
They sure have. There's a runner.
The 0-2 hit on the ground, keeping the runner moving. I was going to say keeps them out of the double play, but the contact puts 2 men on with nobody out here in the top half of the 6th. That's got to be, unfortunately, Braden Lee reaching on an error. I don't think you can call that an infield single, unfortunately.
No. You know, he was thinking about throwing to second before he fielded the ball. You got to do 1 before 2.
So Okerholm reaches on the HBP. Lee reaches on the error. And now Curlin was trying to reach the hard way.
First, second, nobody out. Trying to drag down third. I like it. Add on again. This is the slick fielding shortstop. Handles the bat well. He's just a baseball player, this kid. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it again. Back. Pitcher gave up what he was kind of intending to do there.
Now, Rob, you say you're an A's fan. Curlin, good bunt. Right back to the pitcher. Throws to first for the out. 2 men on, or 2 men in scoring position, I should say, with 1 man out.
He sure did his job.
Now, you say you're an A's fan.
Yes.
You know that Charlie Finley wanted to move the A's originally from Kansas City to Atlanta.
No kidding.
That's a true and fact. I'm a bit of a sports historian.
Excellent.
Or, as some people would call it, a sports historian nerd.
Now, that was when the Braves were still in Milwaukee. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. There was a bit of an arms race to get a team down to Atlanta in those days because the Southeast had not been tapped. Most Southeastern people were either Reds fans or Redbirds fans. Liner
right.
down to second. 1 man out there. Throw to third. And they'll say he's out. Oh, holy smokes. I thought he beat the play back, but it doesn't matter what I think because the man in blue makes the final call. And we'll make our way to the bottom half of the 6th inning while coach and umpire have a discussion. One way or another, it's 4-1. The bottom half of the final frame here at East Cobb. Well, I turned to our producer-director in charge, Amy Walker, and asked her, are we still on? Can we come back from commercial? And wisely, being the great leader that she is, she never sent it to commercial.
She knew.
In that she didn't listen to her play-by-play man. And that's why she's the best in the business. I didn't think there was a chance in the world that they would change that call down at third. So.
The big cleanup hitter here, too.
Yep. Nick Anderson or Owens.
Owens.
Yeah, Owens steps into the box.
He just looks like a catcher.
Anderson retired with a line out to the second baseman.
Kind of built like Benji Molina.
Sure.
Big legs, big shoulders. Got a big arm behind the dish. Working away here.
Popped up. Shallow right. This one's got a chance to fall. Second baseman
nice
goes
shot.
back and makes a tremendous grab. Take number 2. This time, we will head our way to the bottom half of the 6th in a 3-run game. Wisconsin's Tournament Lives hanging in the balance on TravelballSelect.com.
This is Nations Baseball.
Matty Ice to the plate, driven, high, deep, gone. Gets over the fence by about a foot.
Nations Baseball features the most complete roster and team classification systems in the country, allowing for true class play, matching teams of equal skill levels better than any other organization on the planet. Teams compete in Metro, Select, Elite, and Premier classes in leagues and tournaments around the nation for a chance to attend World Series and National Championship events in the most attractive locations in the country.
That's it. 3 in a row to first base, and that will end it.
Tense moments in Metro Atlanta, the East Cobb Baseball Complex, and the bottom of the 6th inning. Wisconsin trailing Texas 4-1 in the bottom half of the final frame. And leading off, Ryan McCorkle. He'll be followed by Cam McCorkle, and then back to the top of the order, and Kyle Yu. If anyone reaches, Ryan Taylor. Shot down the right field line. They could use that, and it's a fair ball down into, well, I was going to say the corner, but a good job by the right fielder to come over and cut it off. A leadoff single in the 6th.
He was really shading to the line opposite field there, which I think at a youth baseball thing, I think that's probably a great place to be.
The winner moves on to take on either the East Cobb Astros or the Indiana Bulls Black.
Loser goes home.
Right. And that game coming up on field 6.
Chris, one of the things
right after this one.
One of the things I love about this tournament, unlike I would say 80% of the tournaments now that are national championships, this is a double elimination. You have one bad game, you could still win this thing.
Oh, yeah. Of course, so many times it depends on when that bad game is.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
You don't want it too early. But, yeah, the other challenge is that you, because of TV, because they're doing the national championships on TV, it becomes a single elimination, much like the College World Series was just a few years ago before they changed the format.
You're telling me. Curveball that stays high to Cam McCorkle.
This last World Series was pretty special, the Vanderbilt and Virginia.
Right.
And I think they're going to be doing some changes next year to the baseball for sure.
Fastball that sweeps outside, and the counts run to 3-1. That was great regional tournaments.
Oh, gosh, yes. It's a college baseball World Series, Super Regionals, they're fantastic.
Just here in the local Atlanta area, we all kind of rallied around my alma mater, Kennesaw State.
Oh, sure.
Right center field. That one's going to fall in for a base hit. Racing down to second is one of the McCorkle boys, and the first 2 runners reach in the bottom of the 6th.
Kennesaw State had a great run. They've really developed some great players. They had those 2 pitchers that went early a couple of years ago, and that catcher this year. And
right.
They've really developed some guys. Really impressive.
I called ball for that program when it was at its peak at the Division II level.
Sure.
They played in 4 national championship games at the Division II level, or 3 Division II national championship games in a 5-year span.
Yeah. Including
1998. Can you imagine a college baseball team going 61-5?
Oh, my gosh.
61-5, a college baseball
That's
team.
the thing about baseball. It's unlike football and basketball because you have so many guys that pitch. It's not like a quarterback alternating.
Well, here's the kicker of that story. That 5th loss came in the national championship game. Wild pitch. Runner's going to move up. 2 guys in scoring position, and now it really gets dramatic. Remember, this is an elimination ball game. Somebody's going home at the end of this one. Wisconsin trailing by 3 in the bottom half of the final frame, trying to keep their season alive.
The big fella, one swing, he can tie this up.
Kyle takes the ball, and it's 2-0.
So we've got an open bag here. My thought is it's 2-0. He might see something off speed, might see a changeup, might see a curveball. They don't want to go fastball in to hit one out. There's the breaking ball. And I think that was a pretty good call. They've got an open bag. Yu is one of their most dangerous guys. One swing and he ties this thing up. Wouldn't surprise me if he worked around him here, Chris. Yeah.
In the dirt, they are going to bring him to the plate. McCorkle snap throw, and they got him.
That really hurts.
Ryan Gunn down at the plate. Sam makes his way down to third. There's now 1 man out, a runner at third, and it stays 4-1. 3-1 count, by the way, on Yu.
Once he hesitated, he just could not have gone there. He who hesitates loses.
Boy, oh boy.
That was tough.
Stewart trying to also finish off the complete game. Josh fires, and it's high.
That's too bad for the Wisconsin group. They could have had bases loaded, nobody out, 2, 3, 4 hitters up. You know, it's not a done deal, but it's going to be a lot harder. A lot harder.
Now here's Taylor. Ryan, who started the day as the shortstop for Wisconsin, as of late has been on the mound. consecutive singles and a walk in the inning. But one man out because if you're just joining us, just a few moments ago, a guy was gunned down at the plate, trying to take the plate on a wild pitch. The 0-1 from Stewart to Taylor with a runner breaking, foul back into the screen.
You really has some outstanding speed.
Yeah.
They're not going to throw him out.
Even to be as big as he is.
Yeah, it would have to be a perfect deal where he didn't get a good jump, slide step, pitch out. That's the only way they're going to throw him out.
Taylor in a big hole now. Ryan with a single in the first, a strikeout in the third. And a ground ball down to first, but foul.
Wouldn't surprise me if they started the runner. Wouldn't surprise me if they had a pitch out here. Not a big lead. It's a little bit bigger than the last pitch. They're going to throw a fastball up. There it was. Right back.
Line right back in the pitcher. He'll throw to first.
Safe.
And you is back. Oh, my goodness. It just absolutely feels like Texas is trying to hang on for dear life in this final frame.
Pretty impressive. He charged that ball. That was a rocket shot. A lot of lefties in this lineup. I love it.
And now the final hope for the Wisconsin team in the 2014 Travelball National Championship Tournament is Brady Renfro. Brady 0 for 2 in the ball game with a couple of ground outs. Righty to the belt, kicks and fires. A curveball for a strike. Stewart trying to finish off the complete game.
You know, and his pitch count has not been that high. Throwing a lot of strikes.
Off the outside corner this time.
Just stayed around it. Kind of went around the plate there.
Roddy out of the stretch, fires. Couldn't check his swing, strike number 2.
Down to one more here. Tough situation. You're 11 years old. 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Halfway across the country. 1-2 pitch.
Stayed away.
Curveball that does, in fact, stay away. You know, that's the kind of thing these kids think about. I've talked to them in these events. They think about all the travel their parents put into it, all the time and effort. I tell them all the time, don't think about that when you're in the box. 2-2. Lined
Right
at the shortstop on one hop. Kirtland will have to throw him out, and he does. Texas stays alive in the 2014 Travelball National Championship Tournament, and Wisconsin, though a valiant effort and a great tournament, they unfortunately will head home. So Team Citius out of Austin, Texas, takes out Team Wisconsin out of Madison, Wisconsin. The Vipers fall to Team Texas. 4-1 is your final, and they'll move on in the tournament. They will take on the winner of Indiana Bulls Black and the East Cobb Astros, as a matter of fact, here in just a few moments at field number 6, just across the way. Coming up here in a few moments on field 4, right here on TravelballSelect.com, maybe 15, 20 minutes, we'll have the Knights of La Miranda, California, the Northern California representative, taking on Home Plate Chili Dogs out of Metro Atlanta, Peachtree City to be precise. For Rob Bruno, I'm Chris Mooneyham and our entire crew here at the East Cobb Baseball Complex in Metro Atlanta. Thanks for joining us for an elimination ball game right here on TravelballSelect.com.